Let ABC be a right triangle in which AB is 6, BC is 8 centimeter, angle B is 90. BD is the perpendicular from B onto AC. The circle through BCD is drawn. Construct tangent from A to this circle. Give justification for your construction. So there are few logical aspects that we need to understand before we look into the actual construction. First is the triangle ABC. So we are going to draw BC first and then AB, and this is 90. So this is the first step. The next thing is finding your point D. So we are looking at BD, the construction of BD, right? How do we do this? See, BD is perpendicular from B onto AC, something like this. But we can't do that. We have to construct it. So how do we construct something like this? We need to draw an arc from B cutting AC at two different points, something like this. So that would be A dash and that would be C dash. So these are 2 points cutting AC, right? An arc with B as a center. Now if I happen to draw a perpendicular line intersecting A dash C dash, that would be intersecting at point T. Again, we need to bisect A dash C dash using perpendicular bisector, and this perpendicular bisector will go through the center, and that center is B. I'll explain the logic over here. I have a chord, right? I have a circle with center B and a chord which is A dash C dash. If I happen to draw a perpendicular line from the center to this chord, it will bisect this chord. Okay, now let me repeat the entire thing the other way around. I have a chord. I'll keep the same name, A dash C dash. If I draw a perpendicular bisector, it will pass through the center, and that's what I did. I found a chord by drawing a circle with B as a center, which cuts the hypotenuse at two different points, right? And then I found the perpendicular bisector for A dash C dash, and this by default will pass through B. And this logic you study in circle topic. Okay, so this is how you find point D. So I've seen many kids, they don't know this and they mess it up and all of that. So I have told the logic. With logic, please understand this. Don't learn anything without logic. Okay, so with this in mind, so yes, learning circle chapter is must to understand this topic better. So now we have BDC. To this we have to draw a circle via B, D, C. How do we find a circle which passes through all of these 3 points? Quite simple actually. We need to draw perpendicular bisectors for BC and DC. Where they intersect is where we have something called as circumcenter. That would be the center for a circle which can pass all these points. Right? So remember, this is your perpendicular bisector of the respective sides. Got it? So this is 90 degree and this would be 90 degree, and any two perpendicular bisectors from any side would give us the circumcenter, and that's how you find a center and draw the circle, and to this circle with A as the external point we should draw tangents. So I hope you guys understood a lot of things over here. You have to, without that, please don't by heart this. So let's look at the construction. Maths is learned with patience. It's a very easy topic, provided you learn it with patience. It's not a day's work, you know. That's why people find maths tough. Okay, first is I'm drawing the base BC of length 8 centimeter. The video is blurry for the first part and not so much later on. Okay, at point B we are trying to draw a perpendicular line. We do so by drawing a semicircle, and with the same radius cut two consecutive arcs, and with those two arcs draw two arcs, two more arcs above the initial arc, giving us a reference point to draw the perpendicular line. All this basics has been taught in the basic section of the chapter. Okay, so must know section is something that you guys have to do. That length happens to be 6 centimeter, so measure with your compass 6 centimeter. Learn this trick, hold the compass and press it from the other end. That would give us 6 centimeter. So this is triangle ABC. And now on to find point D. So that is your, I adjusted the camera a bit. So first thing is with B as a center. Can you see that I took B as a center? Draw an arc which cuts the hypotenuse. Right? So I'm able to do that. We got A dash C dash. That's your A dash and that's your C dash. That is nothing but your chord of an imaginary circle out there. And we need to draw a perpendicular bisector for that line. So same procedure for perpendicular bisectors. Cutting two arcs from both the ends of the line, above and below the line. That would fetch us a perpendicular line that would bisect A dash C dash. Can you see that? All of these points which the perpendicular bisector and your center B, they align. All these weird lines, weird points which were not at all related, they got related now. And that would be point D, and that D is 90 degree. That's wonderful about maths, if you do things right, they will fall in place. Now I'm drawing perpendicular bisector for B, I think BC. Yeah, BC. Please remember the sequence of what I just spoke of, and I'm following that sequence. So we're trying to figure out the circumcenter of the triangle BDC. Once we know the circumcenter, then we can find out a circle which will pass through BDC. Now the perpendicular bisector for DC. More than half, cut two arcs above and below the line. And we have the answer. Can you see that? It's laying on one of the lines, and this is how it is, That's again wonderful about maths. We have so many weird lines intersecting at a point which is theoretically established. So with that as a center and all of those as your radius, we have a circle. So that's the circle to which we need to draw the tangent. At last we found that to be your center O. Join O and A. Next step is to bisect OA. So there are a lot of lines, I agree. It's a bit confusing to see so many, a bit overwhelming. So all the 4 points that is required to be part of your, the new circle, those are it. So complete your diagram by finding the midpoint, and with the help of the midpoint, draw a circle. That would be your radius. And we have the required circle, right? So all we have to do is find the point of intersection of the circle, first circle and second circle. Where they intersect is where you have the tangents. So please see that one of the tangents is by default your AB. Joining all of these points, you get the required answer. As you can see, the other tangent is by default AB. And that is your answer. Please understand the logic and then move on to draw the diagram. Okay, let's look at the steps of construction. So there is a lot of things to be discussed over here. Construct triangle ABC as per the given measurement. Draw an arc from the vertex B cutting AC. So first thing is, let's name it. We have ABC and we draw an arc. So that arc is this. We're calling that as A dash C dash. Bisect A dash C dash using perpendicular bisector. I missed that word, perpendicular bisector. Let it cut AC at D. So this is your perpendicular bisector and is cutting D, and this by default will pass B. Draw perpendicular bisector again for the length DC and BC. So these are your perpendicular bisectors. Let it intersect at O, and that's O. With O as a center, OC as radius, draw a circle. Join OA, bisect it. OA, bisect it, and that would be M. So this is M A first tangent and the second tangent. Anyways, and construct this and you're done. So that would be your Q and this is your R. They will overlap. Now the justification, the same set of writing. Join OB, which is already joined, but again we'll just continue with the same structure. OB, therefore OBA is part of a semicircle, so angle OBA is 90 degree, is it not? So it's part of this semicircle, right? Sorry, not OB, MB. It's kind of too many things. This is your second circle, so this is your first tangent. Okay, MB, we are joining MB, right? MB, no, we're not joining MB, we're joining OB itself. That's correct, sorry, my bad. So AO is your diameter and ABO will be 90 degree. So AB will be perpendicular to BO. Since OB is the radius of the given circle, AB has to be the tangent, right? Again, there are a lot of lines going around. It's not very clear. So I'll make it clear over here now. That is your OB. I'm joining that. So this would be your angle 90 degree because this is the diameter of this circle 2 and this is circle 1. And so we have all of this conclusion. Please have a look. I'm just concluding whatever we just spoke of. So similarly at the other end, AQ is also the tangent to the circle. So please see to that you write all of this logic. Without this, you won't be able to understand anything over here. So A dash C dash is a chord width of a circle with center B. And this logic also, perpendicular bisectors of sides will join at circumcenter. And the steps of construction, don't forget to label and please add the word bisectors. And then your justification. This is not required for your exam. This diagram to be rewritten, it's not required. Please enroll to our program at chalkpieceacademy.com, wherein we'll be teaching you a lot more tricks for faster simplification and calculation, DIY projects. We'll code with Python, we'll work with Arduino Uno. There are a lot more magic tricks and the physics behind it. There are printable materials which will help you recap and understand things better. We'll have live revision and doubt session 2 months before your term exams. It's very cost effective. There would be no ads or any kind of distractions, and we have a dedicated app to help you guys with this.